Once upon a time, there lived a little country girl, the prettiest creature who has ever seen. Her mother had a little Red Riding Hood made for her. Everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "My dear, and see how your grandmother is doing, for I hear she has been very ill." Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately. As she was going through the woods, she met a wolf. He asked her where she was going. "I'm going to see my grandmother." "Does she live far off?" said the wolf. "It is beyond that mill you see there." It was not long before the wolf arrived at the old woman's house. He knocked at the door. Tap, tap, tap. "Who's there?" "Your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood," the good grandmother called out. "Pull the string, and the latch will go up." The wolf pulled the string, and the door opened, and then he immediately fell upon the good woman and ate her up in a moment. He then shut the door, got into the grandmother's bed, expecting Little Red Riding Hood, who came some time afterward and knocked at the door. Tap, tap, tap. "Who's there?" "It is your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf cried out. "Pull the string, and the latch will go up." Little Red Riding Hood pulled the string, and the door opened. "Grandmother, what big arms you have! All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big ears you have! All the better to hear you with, my child." "Grandmother, what big eyes you have! All the better to see you with, my child." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have got! All the better to eat you up with." Fortunately, a hunter was passing nearby the hut. He heard the wolf and recognized him right away. He ran over to the window. He took a good aim. Bang! And that was the end of the wolf. The Once there was a sweet-tempered girl whose name was Cinderella. Unfortunately, her mother died young, and her father married again. His second wife had a sharp temper, and her two daughters were just like her. In a word, horrid. The horrid sisters loved to boss Cinderella. The first said, "Cinders, it's your job to clean the fireplace. That's why you're called Cinders. Get it?" And before she had finished sweeping the grate, the second sister said, "Cinders, don't dawdle. Light up the fire and make me a hot bath with sweet-smelling candles." And as she was heating the bath, the horrid mother said, "Cinders, why haven't you been to the market yet?" All day long, Cinderella swept and scrubbed and fetched and carried. In winter, the young ladies were invited to the royal ball. For a whole month, they tried on taffeta ball gowns, frilly petticoats, and strappy shoes. It was Cinderella, of course, who helped them in and out of their rich costumes and who pressed and folded everything. Her clothes were practically rags. The big night came, and poor Cinderella was left at home, sitting alone by the fireplace. A mouse came up to her and said, "Dear, dear, don't fret. A good fairy is outside, and she says you shall go to the ball." Cinderella ran out of the courtyard, where the good fairy told the young girl, "Be sure to leave the ball before the clock strikes midnight, or you'll be more embarrassed than you ever have been in your life." A golden coach took her to the palace, and on the way she changed into a beautiful gown. When she entered the ballroom, all eyes were upon her, including those of her sisters, who did not recognize her at all. The prince asked the rival to dance not once, but again and again. Before the evening was up, he had fallen in love with the mysterious young beauty. He was about to ask her for her hand in marriage when the clock began to strike 12. "Oh, you must excuse me," exclaimed Cinderella, and she ran for the door. As she dashed down the steps, one of her dancing slippers fell from her foot and she had to hop to the coach. In the morning, the prince found the lost slipper and ordered his to take it up and down the land until they discovered the foot that exactly fitted it. When the prince's servants came to the house where Cinderella lived, her horrid sisters were eager to try on the slippers. "It fits me perfectly," said the first, but she could not shove her heel inside. "You can call me your Royal Highness, because my foot fits better," said the second. But it was clear that her foot was even less able to slip into the slippers. The royal servant looked up and saw Cinderella sitting by the fireplace that she had been cleaning. There was a bit of soot on her nose, and it made her face all the more charming. He said, "Would you care to try on the shoe, miss?" "Why bother with her? She's just a maid," said the horrid sister. "I would like to try, thank you," said Cinderella. Her foot slipped in perfectly. "Who would have thought it? Our quest is complete," declared the royal servant. "What?" exclaimed the mother. "You've got to be kidding." "You idiot! You've got the wrong girl," protested the horrid sisters. But the servant was already calling for the coachman to take Cinderella to the palace, dressed in her rags exactly as she was, and wearing her normal shoe on one foot and a dancing slipper on the other. As Cinderella left the house, the mother of the horrid girls cried out, "Good riddance! We had enough of your cheek." But Cinderella knew that she had found true love, and the very next day she and the prince were wed, and the bells rang out all over the land. The end. Once upon a time, there's a princess called Anna. Anna is the most beautiful princess in Wonderland country. She belongs to a noble family, but she is very kind and likes to help the villagers. She is also an animal lover. One day, Princess Anna came across a cat that was on a tree branch. The cat was asking for help to lower it from that tall tree. "Meow, meow, meow," the cat asked for help. "Oh, poor you cutie little kitten. Wait there, I'll ask for help from the villagers," said Princess Anna, who felt sorry for the cat. "I'm sorry, sir. Can you help me to take down the kitten that's on the branch of that tall tree?" asked Princess Anna when she saw some young men who were near the place. After hearing the request for help from Princess Anna, the sum of young men earlier rushed to go to the scene. The cat was safely lowered by some of those young men from the tall tree branch, and Princess Anna felt very happy and calm for having done once again kindness by rescuing a cat that needs help. In ancient times, there was a wise crow. One day, the weather was very hot. The crow flew to find water. The crow found a big bag of water. The crow began to drink the water. Little by little, the water had dried up and the crow was still thirsty. The crow continued his journey to find water. Finally, the crow found a handful of water. Unfortunately, the crow could not drink the water in it because there was little water. The crow kept trying and thinking of a solution. Suddenly, a small fruit fell from the tree and entered the pool of water. The crow found that the water in the pool was rising. The crow got an idea. The crow then took small stones nearby and put them into a pool of water one by one. The water rose and increased. Finally, the water could be drunk by the crow as much as he wanted, and the crow was no longer thirsty. The end.